Hypothetical question. Do we think it would be considered sacrilegious to read a smut book about two priests who magically turn into vegetables, and then as this mystical produce fell in love with the woman who was supposed to cook them, and then that woman fell in love with the priest vegetables too, if the person reading the book were Jewish? Because if we can't come to like a common understanding, I can and will call my rabbi, who I have not spoken to in 4 years. No, it's okay. I just want to know what circle of hell I'm going to. So what can we expect from Pounded by Produce? Well, I would love to tell you, except the only thing I know about it is that 300 people tagged me in a video about it, and the nice smut woman who wrote this book felt compelled to send me it. Oh, and also it's a VeggieTales-inspired love story, but I never watched VeggieTales because I'm Jewish, and my parents were too cheap to pay for cable. I don't really know if I can blame my parents on this, but look at where I am. Something obviously went wrong. Pounded by Produce is not suitable for all readers. Well, let the journey begin. Okay, so the story starts with Emily, who's struggling to find a job and just broke up with her deadbeat boyfriend. Isn't there a place that's looking to hire a socially awkward, clumsy, slow-moving, funny to herself and like two people girl who likes to cook and water plants? No, because it's taken by me, and step off my turf. Oh, okay. Guys, I think the VeggieTale romance is going a little deeper than I thought, because it's actually giving some very poignant commentary about domestic violence. I was not expecting that. I was never allowed to work. At first I thought it was endearing. He wanted to take care of me. But then I realized it wasn't endearing. Far from it. I was hopeless. Feeling I had no option but to stay with him because there wasn't $1 to my name and a huge gap in employment marked on an already unimpressive resume. So, they say don't judge a book by its cover, and wow, that could not be more true. As I grab the paper, something grabs my attention in the bottom right-hand corner. It's as if a supernatural force pulls all my focus to the tiny black lettering amongst all the typography. Help wanted. Live in-parish cook. I reread it a few more times until I finally believe it's real. I sure as shit don't know what a parish is, and I don't have any way to Google it. But for a remote, rural, live-in cook job, I'd work just about anywhere. Oh, a POV shift already. Chapter 2. Robert. I think to myself, I've got a sermon to write. Are priests allowed to swear? Give me 5 Hail Marys. Actually, but as I say that, I'm pretty sure that they're about to do some more extreme stuff that priests normally wouldn't do. Like turn into vegetables and be intimate with women. Whoa. No matter how hard I pray, I can't scrub the words thrown around my childhood home from my brain. Growing up in a family riddled with poverty, broken marriages, abuse, and crime will do that to a person. Sorry, what am I reading? This was not what I was expecting at all. Have you seen my hairbrush? Laurent yelled across the field. Oh, where is my hairbrush? Yeah, don't think you're slick. I have eyes on you. Okay, I might have been Jewish and not had any cable, but I know a VeggieTales reference when I see it. Oh, come on, you are a beautiful speaker. Laurent swings his arm over me, kissing the top of my brown curly head. Yeah, don't worry, I clocked the forehead kiss. Yeah, no. As a situationship survivor, I know how intimate that is. Laurent and I have been best friends since seminary school. We've never been afraid to touch each other in a friendly manner, rubbing shoulders, fake sincere kisses on the head, arms intertwined, normal bloke exchanges. And I said the exact same thing in middle school. So just like a VeggieTales reference, don't think I don't see you. He's talking about how Laurent and him used to be roommates and says, and I quote, "The road to godliness isn't always straight and narrow. I can't help but admit that my mind wanders, but I can keep those thoughts at bay now. I don't need to act on them." Okay, I'm reading Robert's dialogue right now, and I'm really thinking, wow, the level of repression you have, that's medal worthy. Like, someone call up the Olympics. This is a mental sport. Okay, we're back with our girl Emily, and congratulations, because she just got hired over the phone without being asked to show references or any proof of her culinary experience. So Emily, I guess just be grateful that you're the protagonist in a deranged romance book Because any other genre, this is how you get your organs harvested. Everybody shut up. She's meeting her love interests for the first time. On the other side sits a well-built man with curly brown hair, dark and haunting brown eyes, a strong jaw, and wearing a black shirt with the priestly collar. Sitting on the edge of the desk is another man with dirty blonde, shaggy hair tucked behind his ears. I knew there would be priests, but hot priests? Okay. Emily, the literal last thing you want to do is get in between a messy gay situationship. Hey, I've been in one, okay? And all I'm saying is that I cannot guarantee your safety if you try to come after Robert's man. I don't remember the last time I've been in church. It feels unnatural, but I know what to do. Flip down the long stool before me, kneel, bring my hands to my face, and close my eyes. Okay, so she's praying out loud, and all of a sudden, she gets interrupted by our favorite gay situationship priests. I attempt to pick myself up from my knees. Oh, I'm sorry, I thought I was alone. Father Robert extends a hand, holding me back down. Don't get up. He grabs my chin, bringing my gaze to his dark and heated eyes. You're perfect right where you are. Hold on. Can you imagine if you were just praying in church and you got hit on by the priest? Don't look so nervous. You asked God to fill you up, and here we are, ready to use you for His will. Are you ready to take what the Lord orders of you? Oh, she's dreaming. I knew it! No priest, fictional or otherwise, would hit on someone that hard in church. I should have known. I jolt up from my bed. I'm not in a church sanctuary with two hot priests cornering me like I'm prey to be devoured. Yeah, and how dare you trick me into thinking you were? How am I supposed to thrive here when I'm already having fucked up thoughts about my employers? I guess technically God's my employer? Sorry, God. You just kind of put the incorrect amount on my paycheck this week. I was just wondering if you could fix it. Oh, no, sorry. I docked your pay because you were having explicit dreams about my priests. Oh, sorry, yeah. Chapter 5, we have now switched to Lauren's point of view. They're giving sermons at church, and 90% of our patrons are widowed women above the age of 60. And they're here for one reason, and one reason only. These women like their young, masculine eye candy. I don't blame them. Hell, they're here for the same reason I am. That's right. The only reason Laurent is a priest is because he's so in love with Robert that he just followed him into the profession. You know, Laurent, I can't judge you. Because the other day, I had a man look me in my eyes and go, I'm trying harder to see you as a human being. And I still made out with him. So, do I really have room to judge? I know what you're all thinking. Page 36 and not a mention of a vegetable, tomato, a cucumber, nothing. Well, don't worry, a mysterious old woman has come into play, so you know what that means. A large boil sits upon her crooked nose, and she smiled up at me with a gapped-tooth grin. Hold on. You are now bullying an old lady. Stop that. No wonder she turns you two into vegetables. You guys are being dicks. Tonight is the harvest moon, where spirits come to play. All that is hidden will be brought to light. You two need a transformation. It is up for you both to find the true fruits of your soul. Laurent reaches over, laughing. You're definitely God's favorite. He made me just to serve you. Okay. And in what way is that platonic? And then Robert hits him back with the, if only you could truly serve me the way I choose. Just quit your job. God does not want you to suffer in this situationship, Robert. Quit your job. You know, they were drinking a little bit in the garden, totally platonic, totally priestly. You guys just don't get it, so that's fine. But then, Laurent tries to wake up. I try to push up, but I'm stuck, my body frozen. What kind of wine was that? Something moves above me, stealing all the oxygen from my lungs. It's a hand, a giant hand, reaching down for me. It's not until the fingertips grip my skin that I realize it. The giant isn't grabbing my skin at all. No. I don't have normal flesh anymore. Oh my God, am I dead? But then she brings me to her face and I make her out. It's a god, all right. It's Emily. Don't you have a man? Her deep brown eyes suck me in, and even as I panic, I can't help getting lost at them. I don't care how attractive someone is. They could not distract me from the fact that I am not in my human body anymore. Maybe that's a controversial take. Maybe you guys don't agree. I catch my reflection in her eyes. She's not holding a tiny version of me. She's holding a cucumber. I'm a cucumber. It's almost too ridiculous to be a dream, but it has to be because what the fuck? Yeah, you and me both. What is going on? What's wrong with me? She whispers before placing Robert and me in a woven basket on the ground. Wait, how does he know that Robert was turned into a vegetable? Oh, come on. That's not a tomato at all. That's Robert. I could recognize him in any form. It doesn't look like Robert, it looks like a goddamn tomato, but as much as I can tell I'm a cucumber, I can tell that that tomato is Robert. Hell, that's just commitment. I'm just jealous, so what can I say? Okay, Emily is snacking on some of the produce. Emily's about to have her plump lips around me, except instead of my that I've always dreamed about, it will be my entire body snapped under her molars. Maybe Robert was right. Maybe God is punishing us. Who knew he was such a sinister fuck? Everybody? How are you new to this party? She turned and walked into her bedroom, with us still in her grasp. Hey, so Emily, why are you taking produce to your bedroom? No, don't answer me. No, I want you, that was an internal question. I want you to ask yourself why you are doing that. I can understand the look on her face. She doesn't just want to eat me. She definitely wants me inside of her, but in an entirely different place. Okay, and what gives you the right to make me read that? It's like every page I turn, I can feel the flames of hell getting hotter. I walk over to my bed, placing the tomato and cucumber on my bedside table. Standard protocol. The tomato feels firm in my hand, its skin shiny and smooth, which brings me to another question. What are you using that tomato for? A cucumber? I reluctantly admit that I understand your intentions behind that. The tomato. I just don't. Do you ever just read something and you go, yeah, I guess? Like, that's exactly what I feel like reading this right now. Like, yeah, I guess that would work. I guess. I feel like I need to study this. I need to bust out note cards. Oh my God, this is so embarrassing. Oh, the secondhand embarrassment. After she's done screwing the foliage, she looks around and finds two grown men at the foot of her bed. Who are those two grown men, you ask? Well, they are the only two other characters in the book. So Robert and Laurent are like, man, I had this crazy dream, but we'll leave you alone. And Emily says, I brought a cucumber and tomato into my room. And then she goes, oh my God, why did I say that? Obviously, Laurent and Robert, being that tomato and cucumber, they're like, hold on. It wasn't a dream? So Laurent goes, and what did you do with that tomato and cucumber? Now, this is where me and Emily separate on a difference of, I don't know, personal opinion, because she tells them what she did with that tomato and cucumber. I would rather chomp on a block of cement. I would rather floss my teeth with an electric wire. I would rather yank out every last one of my nail beds than ever admit that. And I guess this is why she's the rom-com protagonist and I'm not. So if you don't normally shove cucumbers, oh wow, that's aggressive. If you don't normally do stuff with vegetables, why did you do it today? Okay, listen. This is America, land of the free. If she wants to do some weird ass shit with vegetables, she's perfectly entitled to, and quite frankly, does not deserve to be interrogated by you, Laurent. You know, I think there's some projection going on, actually. Yeah, because take a look at your best friend. Oh, yeah, you're in love with him. So, leave my girl Emily alone. Okay, so they get down to brass tacks, which is Laurent was the cucumber, Robert was the tomato, and Emily was the... Vegetable vulture? I don't really know a nice way to put screwing vegetables. It's not really in my vocabulary. If this is all true, then what I did to you two was horrible. Robert shrugs, turning to Laura. Well, I don't know. I would say I enjoyed myself. And Emily raises the question that we have all been thinking, which is, but you're both priests. Aren't you, I don't know, not supposed to do this? Then Lawrence says, yeah, but we weren't priests when we were doing you. I was a cucumber and Robert was a tomato. Maybe this is from God. Maybe he wanted this to happen. You know, I've heard a lot of interesting excuses from men over my years, but saying it doesn't count, I was a cucumber, has to be one of the craziest things. Robert turns to Laurent. We need to pray and ask God for guidance. And you know what? I don't think it would hurt. Robert flings the door open and throws himself out, pulling Laurent behind him. Before Laurent disappears, he looks at me, rolling his eyes as if to apologize for his friend's irrational behavior. How dare you sass Robert? You just turned into a cucumber, got freaky with a woman, and then turned back into a man. And you're acting like Robert's the crazy person? Laurent, you need to turn to God. And I understand and I recognize you have already turned to God. You need to do it again. Then do it a third time. Then do it a fourth time. And then hell, a fifth time. Because this shit is not normal. How dare you? Robert, rightfully so, is ignoring Laurent. And you know what? I am so team Robert that I'm like a K-pop stan. That's my photo card. So Laurent is pressuring Robert to talk about what happened. And Robert goes, I don't know if I'm ready to talk about it with you. Doesn't all of this make you question things? You're a priest, Laurent. You've devoted your whole life to God. Is this all it takes to make you start questioning him? All it takes? Robert, we turned into f***ing produce and got freaky with our cook. This isn't a minor incident. Okay, hold on. That's a great point, but I don't know how to draw a cucumber, so I just got a piece of one from my fridge. Yeah, that won't fall, right? You'll be fine. So Emily has chosen to start her day by going back to the garden, which, me personally, I would never go back to the garden again if I picked two vegetables that were priests in disguise. Oh, he agrees with me. They told me they turned into a tomato and cucumber. 2 days ago, I didn't know if I believed in God, and now they want me to believe they transformed into vegetables? I'd be crazy to believe them, but I guess I am crazy because even if they didn't tell me they were the cucumber and tomato I got off with, I'd know something wasn't normal about that produce. The logic that's used in this book, I guess let's just say it astounds me. I'd never do something like that with a tomato and cucumber unless supernatural forces were at play. Babe, you don't need to lie to me. I'm on your side. Okay, I just want what's best for you. Emily has confronted Robert and Laurent, and she was like, so, what happened last night? Anyone want to give me the debrief? I cut through the tension. Let's not play games. Obviously, what happened yesterday was insane. Do either of you have any idea why it happened? Is it a God thing? Wow. I mean, the Lord works in mysterious ways. But I don't think you can blame this one on him. Oh, they're bringing up the old woman. Hey, I didn't know they were going to be smart enough to figure it out this quick. That old woman was saying all that weird stuff the other day.
Tonight is the harvest moon, where spirits come.
Why are you just now mentioning this? She obviously knew something like this would happen. Okay, so, in their defense, never in a million years would I assume that if someone said that to me, they would mean that I'd turn into a vegetable the next day. Never in a trillion, gazillion, million trillion years would that be my first assumption. Has it happened again since yesterday? Robert shakes his head. No. Maybe it won't happen again. And literally not even a page later, they are magically turned back into vegetables. Now it's just me, alone with the two sexiest vegetables in the world. So I guess they just slept off being a vegetable because they wake up in the morning and they're trying to figure out why they turned into vegetables. And Robert says, maybe this is a gift. I'm not sure why God chose to turn us into vegetables, but if I'm a tomato, I'm not a man of God. I'm just a veggie, and veggies can't sin. So the loophole's not really loopholing. And now the vegetable priests are propositioning Emily. Robert says, of course, I don't want to suggest anything you're uncomfortable with, but it seems you are attracted to us. As vegetables, I mean. I only offer to use us as you wish when we take that form. Sorry, they turned back into vegetables, and all I can focus on is the fact that they can apparently vibrate. So Lawrence is in the middle of his passionate cucumber throes, and then he says this. A thought dawns on me through the fog. I'm willing to die with Robert here, because I know I'll never live a life with him or with anyone. I already feel deeply for Emily, a dangerous thing since I'm not allowed to attach to anyone. I would rather be a cucumber than a human, because I am more myself than ever before. All my dreams are coming true, but maybe my dreams deserve more than this cucumber form. And that's just a bit hauntingly poetic. You both vibrated, Emily said. Oh, God. Whoa. Do these vegetable priests not understand etiquette? They're just gonna leave her after a, to quote Priest Robert, vegetable session. You can't just dine and dash a woman. Okay, where's the love? Where's the respect? Where's the honor? It's not very godly. This next scene deserves to be performed. So I'm gonna give you the context, and then you're just gonna experience it. So their priest boss calls him into their office, and he's like, okay, you guys did a really, really bad job on your sermon today, so I'm placing both of you on personal leave. You're not fired, but you're not fired. Robert is obviously mad at Laurent because he's the one who messed up his sermon, but Laurent's like, hold on, cut the shit. It's not like I'm the only one to experience a bad day at the pulpit. You've had your fair share of fuck-ups. Having a bad day is different than nearly saying to a room full of widows and farmers. We behave the way we do in private, but never in front of the congregation, let alone the bishop. Well, maybe that's the issue, isn't it? What if this isn't enough for me? For all of us? What if I can't just whisper my profanities, live off your accidental brushes, or a woman I'm growing to care about only as a cucumber? What if I want more? Do you think you're the only tortured soul to exist? Every breath you take tempts me. Every movement you make brings me closer to the edge of my breaking point. I've always barely held on by a thread, and then this miracle or curse or whatever it is happened, and I thought maybe it was a gift from God for resisting you for all these years, but it's obviously too much for us. I don't want to be without you, Laurent. This could be the end of us if we let it. My heart hammers in my chest. I hear his words. I feel his pain, but he doesn't realize what he's saying. Everything I felt over the years rests on his lips. He's too wound up in God that he doesn't realize what he's admitting. A force comes over me. Maybe it's God. Maybe it's something bigger, but I can't resist. I lean in, crashing my lips against him. I must be an idiot. This isn't what he wants, but I can't help myself. I expect him to pull away and punch me in the jaw, but he surprises me. His lips part and he melts into me. Oh no, I got really invested for a second. Okay, sue me. I want them to be happy. Robert snaps out of it, flinching and shoving me away with such force that I bounce off the walls behind me. Wait, I call. But it's too late. He's already gone. The office door slamming behind him. Nobody talk to me right now. I'm going through something. Okay, Lorne and Robert gave Emily a note saying that their weird vegetable relationship cannot continue under any circumstances. So what I get from that is that it definitely will be continuing under many circumstances. Okay, screw off. You can't just decide Laurent has abs halfway through the book. He yawns and throws his arms overhead, his sweater revealing a section of his hardened abs. I can accept a lot of things. I can accept vegetable priests. I can accept hot priests. I cannot accept a priest with a workout routine. No. I'm drawing the line. So all this time I was sort of operating under the impression that Laurent didn't know why he became a priest. Like, he was just subconsciously following Robert around. No, he straight up admits to it. Emily says, you've dedicated your whole life to this. Why would you do that if you're unsure about God, about celibacy? He turns. I think you know why. I do. I'd be blind not to notice. He's in love with Robert. Okay, so I didn't know that we knew. I didn't know that they knew. This is sadder than I thought. Robert starts off in a very relatable way by saying, I've always been good at distracting myself from my feelings. Who needs to deal with their inner demons when you can just drown yourself in work? Or God? He's so me. Is that wrong to relate to a tomato priest? Actually, maybe I shouldn't admit that publicly. Wait, Emily is getting messy as a... Hold on. Robert is hiding in his office, looks out of his window, sees Emily trying to climb a tree. He yells at her, hey, what are you doing? And Emily's like, off, you're not the boss of me. He goes out, helps her out of the tree, gets her hat for her. I don't know, it's complicated. And then he finds out that she was in an abusive relationship. And he's like, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. And she was like, what are you sorry for? I was the one in control the whole time when you were sentient vegetables. And he's like, we were authority figures ordained by God. I promise you nothing will happen again. And she's getting pissed because he's not really listening to her. And she goes, well, what if something did happen? And Robert goes, what are you talking about? And she's like, what if something already happened between me and Laurent? And he goes, Emily, what are you talking about? Then Emily goes, would you get angry at me for messing around with the love of your life? Whoa. Robert says, you don't know what you're talking about. So what is it? Is it him or me you're jealous of? Wait, so how did we get here? Robert's internal dialogue right now is, man, I don't know, I just feel left out. He's so relatable. He just kissed Emily. So there's so much happening, so much drama, and they haven't even turned into vegetables in like 30 pages. If Robert gave me an inch, I would take it. Now I know how Laurent must have felt over all these years, living off of Robert's scraps. Okay, to recap, here's what's happening. Robert felt called to priesthood, so he went to seminary. And because Laurent is in love with Robert, he followed him and also became a priest because he basically is like devoting his life to Robert. Then, a couple years later, enter Emily, who's just getting out of an abusive relationship, finds his ad in the paper. She's like, wow, it's like this called to me or something. Accepts the job, even though it's sketchy as hell, walks over and is like, oh man, these priests are hot. They have like one interaction with each other. She has a freaky dream, and then the old woman comes up to Laurent and Robert, says a little rhyme, and then the next day they turn into straight up vegetables. She has some freaky fun time with the vegetables, then they turn back into men, and she's like, oh shit, I just screwed two priests. Then the priests are like, well, maybe this is God's will, so they loophole around it and screw around again. Then Robert is like, actually no, this is making everything really confusing. I don't think this is God's will. And Laurent is like, well, you know what? Maybe I love you and maybe I've always loved you. And Robert's like, we're not talking about this, runs away. Then Laurent and Emily meet in the woods. They get a little freaky, and Emily's like, hey, you know you're in love with Robert, right? And Laurent is like, do you think I'm the last to know? Well, pause. I didn't think anybody knew that was going on. Okay, play. Then they screw in the woods. Now, we're at Robert's point of view. He's been hiding in his office for days. Sees Emily through a window. He's like, what are you doing? Emily's like, I'm climbing a tree to get my hat. He goes over and he's like, get out of that tree. And she's like, no. And then she falls on him. And then he's like, I'll go get your hat anyway, even though I'm in pain. Crawls up, gets the hat. He's like, oh, you know, we shouldn't really be doing this because you just got out of an abusive relationship and I'm an authority figure. And she's like, you have no right to choose what I want to do. Then they kiss. And he's like, never again. Then Emily is so confused, goes to the confessional and just is talking to a fake priest. Then a real priest shows up. We don't really know who it is, but you can guess. They have some fun time in the confessional booth. And Robert is like, we're never doing this again. Emily is like, huh. Doubt that. So everyone gets called in for a group meeting, and Laurent, trying to make Robert jealous, is like, well, does he know that we had sex? And then Robert is like, well, does Laurent know that we had sex? And then Emily's like, guys, calm down. What is wrong with you two? And we're all caught up. Laurent says, okay, fine, this works. We'll continue as vegetables, and then we can each have a relationship with Emily as humans. Wait, I say, as the same time that Robert says, no. No what? I ask. No. No more for any of us. So now you're telling Laurent and me what to do? He grips the table. Yes. Laurent is a priest. He devoted his life to God. This relationship is inappropriate. I shoot to my feet. And what's our relationship then? Was it appropriate last night? Whoa. Emily is killing the game. She is redefining the genre of messy bitch. I don't have to be a priest, you know. I can leave the church. I can be with Emily without you. Robert studies us. Fine. Leave then. Do not play coy. You know you're mad as hell. Wait. Oh no. He's so sad. He tries to look uncaring, but he fails miserably. The corner of his lip shakes, and he clenches his fist. I wonder if Laurent notices it. He travels down my arms. Now is not the fucking time, Laurent. Now is not the goddamn time. Go sit in the corner. What did I tell you? Tell me you'd be okay with this, sitting back, watching her as she's mine. I'd be fine. So you wouldn't mind if I took her right here? Okay, so a normal person would have an issue with someone doing that right in front of them. Like I would have an issue. And I certainly don't want to be in the middle of this. I guess you guys are actually doing it right in front of me. So, well, when you look around, you find out. Because, yeah, they just got caught. All three of them. By who? Gail. Who's Gail? I don't know. She hasn't been relevant since the start of the book. So they're getting put on priest trial after getting caught in the whole shebang. Yeah, they basically get fired for realsies. Which, hey... no shit. And when Robert gets put in priest jail, what does he do? He goes, I think I'm gonna be a monk. Sit. So you just hate yourself. Just sit down for a second. God damn. What happens if you turn into a tomato in front of the monks? Then maybe, God willing, the monks will eat me and my misery will be over. Oh, for fuck's sake, Robert, quit with the dramatics. You don't need to become a monk. He turns to me. It's the only choice. Only choice. Robert, of course you have another choice. This monologue from Robert is crazy. You don't understand. Something is wrong with me. Before I came to the seminary, I was broken. So broken that I hurt everyone around me. I've never known love, and I would squash any morsel that came my way, using people. I care about you, Laurent, more than I've ever cared about anyone before. But I can't hurt you. You don't understand. It's not just you. It's her too. These feelings, I know I haven't known her long, but I want her. I had a crazy thought that maybe taking her in that confessional booth would cure everything. I'd get my reprieve and I'd be done with her, just like the other woman I'd been with in my past. But I just wanted more. It was like the way I've always felt about you. Like she sees me for what I truly am and welcomes me anyway. I can't have you both. And even if I have one of you, I'll hurt the other. It's a slippery slope to my ruin and everyone around me. It's as if the devotion I've had for God is misplaced. I can hurt God, but humans are weak. And I can't bring myself to damn you or her. And then Laurent kicks it back with a, you're so in your head that you never stop to think about the people around you. No, stop. Do you honestly think that either of us are the jealous type? Do you not understand what's going on here? It's the same for me all this time. I've been devoted to you, guised under my love of God. You were the only one that made me feel whole. But then Emily came, and she saw me for what I am. She had me in any form, and I wanted her too. The feelings I feared would live and die with you multiplied, and I could see my soul in her eyes. I want both of you completely. There's nothing wrong with you. I run my hands up his chest, feeling his heart rattle in his lungs. No, you say that, but it can't work. It's not right. Oh, shut up. I press forward, capturing his lips with mine. I'm always making the first move, but this is what he needs me for. To stop the rambling in his head and force himself to melt. It's immediate this time. He kisses me back. Okay, it's romantic. A little bit. After all of that, Robert still runs away? He straightens himself and walks past me. Robert, I love you, I yell. He stops at the door. Don't do this to me. I love you. I will love you no matter what form you take. Man, priest, tomato, even in death, my heart will beat for you, and there's nothing you can do about it. He clenches his jaw, tears forming in his eyes, but he won't look at me. You'll move past this. It's for the best. And with that, he leaves. So how long are we going to draw this shit out? Because they've solo kissed twice. Robert has kissed Emily once and did a little something in a confessional booth with her, and then also so there's really no reason to be drawing this out. But I will continue anyway. Emily is ruminating on what's next for her. Because surely she's not going to keep her job after she just got 2 men fired from priesthood. Maybe the priests had the right idea. Maybe I should become a nun. Actually, I think that is the last thing that we should do in this situation. Everybody take a step back from Catholicism for just a second. The old woman is back. I repeat, the old woman, after 130 pages, is back. Did you do this to them?
I am the mere messenger from the cosmos. Nature sometimes plays games with us mortals and asks me to relay their messages.
Mother Nature saw 2 guys in love as priests and thought, yeah. No, don't worry. I got this one. Why do they only sometimes turn into vegetables, and how do we get it to stop?
The key is the desire to connect, to be a part of a union with their body and soul. Not like they are with
Okay, this is a lot of dialogue. They couldn't have just figured this shit out themselves.
You 3 are destined for each other, cut from the same cloth. The universe wants you 3 together, and this is how they chose to bring you to each other. They turn into vegetables whenever the 3 of you are together, and at least one of you admits your desires to yourselves, while the other denies their true feelings.
Why didn't I turn into a vegetable? Do we really have to keep going with it? We know it.
Skip.
So what now? What do we need to do to stop them from turning into vegetables?
All 3 of you must admit your love for each other, then you can live in your true forms. And all of you could have figured this out without my help, but because you all are such fucking idiots, I have to step in at the last second. I am the old woman deus ex machina.
And then she disappears. Great. Okay, Robert shows up at her door, bumps into Laurent on his way. She opens the door. They turn into vegetables. She's like, I'm going to take this opportunity. Yes, I am. I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow or the next day or where this crazy life will take us. But I know if I don't tell you this, I'll regret it for the rest of my life. I love you 2. I know. It's crazy. And it doesn't make sense. And who do I think I am that I can be in love with 2 men at the same time? But it's true. It's weird and complicated and doesn't make sense, but it's real. I've always wondered what people were talking about when they described faith in God, even though they had no proof. But I think this is it. I just know in my heart that I love you 2, and I don't need a reason, and I don't even need you 2 to love me back. All I need is to tell you both. Okay, wait, that's... Whew. Take 5. Give me a break. Hold on. Oh. And then Robert has an epiphany. It's so clear to me now. I love her. I love Laurent. I want to scream it from the rooftops, but I can't because I'm a stupid fucking tomato. The shaking increases until I can't see anything in front of me. Everything goes black, but it only lasts a moment. I blink, and I'm seated on Emily's bed. Laurent sits beside me, staring down at his human legs and arms, and Emily sits before me, wide-eyed. What happened? She asks. I love you. Hey man, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I pull back, turning to Laurent. His eyes are wide, hair disheveled. I can nearly feel his heart racing. I remove the distance between us. And I love you too, I whisper. And if it ain't broke, you do? The question breaks my heart. I've always loved you, Laurent. Yes, this conversation is so romantic, so sweet, but haven't they had this same conversation like 5 times now? I mean, hey, I'm here for as many more times as they want to have it. I'm quite frankly having a great time, so. And it ends with... All right, you 2, we have a full day ahead of us. What? No. You both are the ones that wanted to open a cucumber and tomato farm. Wow. I just don't feel like that's very financially responsible, especially because as a throuple, you have more people to take care of. You can't just invest in something so frivolous. Because of what? Symbolism? Symbolism is not currency. You can't use symbolism to buy food. You can't use symbolism as rent. I mean, you can try, but if I tried to pay my landlord with pounded by produce, yeah, I would get evicted. This is everything I could have ever wanted. Our love story is a wicked tale, but it's my favorite. The tale of veggies who found love. The end. Well, I don't know about you, but I have some things to say. Was this the best sentient romance book I've ever read? No. Was it the worst? Also, no. There are points where I was really getting into it, but it also felt incredibly repetitive. And my main problem is with all these repetitive points is that we don't get to the main psychological problem within the character. You know, Robert has all these issues about not feeling enough, not being worthy of love, and we don't really see that resolved within himself. You know, how is he able to overcome that? And it's obviously trying to make a lot of commentary on religion and religious trauma and healing from that, and sort of embracing whatever aspect of religion you want, which I respect. But I just feel like if you took out so much of what felt repetitive, you could add new life into all of these characters. Not that I was really in favor of the vegetables. I wasn't really rooting for their intimate scenes. I think we could have been a little more creative. You know, I was really expecting some big ups from the tomato and was just incredibly disappointed. You know, I was expecting something more scandalous. I was expecting something more extreme. You know, I can't say I wasn't rooting for all three of them the whole time. They were great. They were fun. It's just I would have loved to see more of them. So, it's 3 in the morning. I have a cucumber duct taped to my wall, and I spent my whole night reading 200 pages of a vegetable love story. So I guess the only question left to ask is, what have we learned today? Never get involved with an emotionally unavailable man. He will turn into a tomato, and he will make that all your problem. 2, don't take a sketchy-ass job offer from someone who doesn't want any reference and hires you over the phone. And 3, never get in the middle of a complicated gay situationship. Because this is what you get left with. I shouldn't eat this, right? It's been up on my wall for like 4 hours. I shouldn't. I won't. I shouldn't. I won't.